Which Marvel movie had the biggest impact throughout history? Could it be Avengers Endgame or the original Avengers from 2012 by Joss Whedon? Well, both have their merits. Some argue that the most influential Marvel movie is Blade. That's right, half human, half vampire superhero not only paved this way for the current wave of comic book movies, but also saved Marvel Comics during a challenging period. Today, comic book movies are facing a new challenge known as the comic book movie fatigue. Some attribute this to the overwhelming amount of content from the DC Extended Universe and the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and MCU shows only on Disney Plus, along with numerous other comic book inspired films and shows outside these major canons. Others suggest it's the declining quality of the content. Studios are struggling to recapture the golden era when comic book movies were a surefire hit at the box office, ranking in the hundreds of millions if not billions of dollars. To figure out how to course correct the MCU, we need to revisit what made comic book movies a successful genre in the first place. There was a time when Marvel movies weren't the annual blockbuster event. It may have seemed unbelievable a few years ago, but today movies like the Marvels are struggling both at the box office and with critics. This brings us back to 1998. Blade, a key player in Marvel cinematic history. Blade marked a turning point for Marvel comic books, showcasing their legitimate value. Before Blade, successful comic book movies like early Superman films and Tim Burton Batman series were mainly centered around DC characters. Marvel struggled with financial troubles in the 90s, selling off film rights for characters due to bankruptcy. The 80s and the 90s saw superhero movies facing challenges due to the niche status of comic books and high production costs. Marvel's attempts, such as Howard the Duck, were critical and financial failures. The company faced bankruptcy in 1996, leading to selling film rights at low cost, resulting in a fragmented setup with different studios owning various characters. Blade, released in 1998, directed by Stephen Norrington and starring Wesley Snipes, this changed the game. Despite a modest budget of $30 million, the film transformed a previous perceived lame character into a cool one, resonating with audiences. Blade earned $70 million in the US and $60 million abroad, exceeding its $45 million budget. Blade's success lay in its departure from traditional comic book movie norms. It presented a stylish vampire movie rather than a nerdy comic book adaptation, appealing to a broader audience. The film's horror elements, blending genres, the movie set an example for later comic book movies like Guardians of the Galaxy and The Dark Knight, challenging exceptions and expanding the definition of superhero films. The film's reinterpretation of Blade as a half-human, half-vampire was adopted in later comics, illustrating its significant impact on the source material. In essence, Blade's success not only ignited Marvel's cinematic prospects, but also paved the way for a more diverse and genre-blending approach to future comic book movies. Blade demonstrated that success in superhero genre wasn't limited to A-list actors, proving that B or C or even D-list characters could be commercially valuable. Marvel at the time had more low-tier characters than A-listers, with only Spider-Man and the X-Men considered A-list. Even characters like Iron Man weren't widely popular until the MCU happened. Blade's impact went beyond its success, as it laid the foundation for Marvel Studios to take a lesser-known characters like the Guardian of the Galaxy and Shang-Chi and turn them into blockbusters during the MCU's peak. While Blade itself may not have reached blockbuster status, its success initiated a wave of comic book movies. Rumors suggest that Blade's success influenced Fox's decision to acquire X-Men and Fantastic Four adaptation rights and Sony's decision for Spider-Man. The early 2000s saw PG-13 superhero movies bringing comic book adaptation into the mainstream, setting the stage for the consistently high-grossing comic book movies of the 2010s. Reflecting on Blade, one might question if it's truly a masterpiece, as it may not be timeless or ambitious. However, what Marvel needed at the time was not a masterpiece, but something enjoyable enough to resonate with mass audiences. Blade served this purpose, becoming the savior of Marvel Comics during a critical period. In the current Marvel crisis, marked by the lowest grossing movie in the MCU's history, the question arises, can Blade be the solution? the comic book company needs, starring Mahershala Ali as the vampire hunter. The upcoming Blade movie has faced production problems, leading some to doubts. Its November 2025 release. Recent MCU entries have received criticism for the goofy and not so funny tone, with movies like Thor: Love and Thunder and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania and the Marvels failing short of exceptions. Speculation suggests that the fans might be growing tired of this direction post-Endgame. While Blade may not reach Endgame scale, it could offer a reset for the franchise, since bidding farewell to some leading MCU heroes. The franchise has struggled to find a clear direction. Blade: Darker Vision might prove that constant wisecracks are not essential for audiences. Was Blade in 1998 a turning point in Marvel Comics history, or was it something else? Can the upcoming reboot address Marvel Studios' current challenges? Share your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Until the next time.
Wesley Snipes. He makes the weapons. I use them.